We have joining us now Christine Serrano Glassner. She's the mayor of the borough of Mendham, New Jersey, and she's running for U.S. Senate against Democrat Senator Bob Menendez. Christine, thanks for joining the show.
Thank you, Stacy. I'm happy to be here and happy to be talking about Gold Bar Bob. It's my new little nickname for him.
Well,
you got to keep it fun, don't you?
Yeah,
all this lack of integrity.
Gold Bar Bob. I mean, that says a lot. He really is holding some unique distinctions now that more details are coming out. Just keeping $100,000 in cash around. Just in case. A few gold bars, no big deal.
It was Stacy. It was $500,000 in cash. 500,000.
That's a lot of money.
That's mad money. That's mad money.
Totally mad money. So talk to us about this candidacy that you're launching against him. First off, you're running against, he's a well-established, entrenched politician. He has all of the fundraising mechanisms. He has everything that you could possibly think of. What is it that you're going to tell these people who have been donating to him and really they're kind of tied to him at the hip financially? What are you going to tell them to wrench them away and have them vote for you?
I think it's simple. I think life has changed for people in the last few years, and it's become very, very challenging. I think that we have an integrity issue in this country right now, and Bob Menendez is a classic example of that. He has been getting away with, indiscretions and probably corruption. He's been indicted, but he hasn't been convicted for a very long time, to the degree that he doesn't even know he's doing anything wrong, I'm sure. So the difference between him and me is, first of all, I haven't spent 50 years in government. I think somebody who has spent 50 years in government is really out of touch. They don't know what's going on with people in New Jersey. They don't know what parents and families are facing with this difficult inflationary economy. They don't know what seniors are facing with the fear of not being able to retire and not being able to provide for themselves. It's really a sad time. So what I provide is delivery, and that's what I'm known for. I have a vast experience. I started out my career for the first couple of decades as a chef. I was a trained chef. I even served in the union for a couple of years, which I enjoyed very much. And then I went on to government, and I fell absolutely in love with it. And the thing about working in government was I really wanted to make a difference. And the difference is communicating with people and helping them to understand that we're there to serve them. It's their tax dollars. That's what I think this current government has forgotten. And people feel like they're forgotten. So all these people that have supported Senator Menendez and voted for him over the years, I think most of them in New Jersey are waking up and looking for something that's going to help improve their lives. I said earlier today, one of the things I hear all the time, when I go to the gas station, my window is rolled down so I can communicate with the guy pumping my gas, because in New Jersey we get our gas pumped for us. And people used to fill their tanks up, but now what you hear from other cars is just give me $20, because people are living paycheck to paycheck. They don't want to take that risk of putting all that spare money into their gas tank when they might need it for something else. So people are waking up. They're saying this economy is not sustainable. And if Bob Menendez has been spending his time really taking care of his cronies, then that means that he may not have been taking care of New Jersey as well as he should have. People certainly haven't seen him around New Jersey. He doesn't travel the state. When he comes here, he goes right to Union and hangs out there. That's not how an elected official should be. We should be here for the people. We should be here listening to them, talking to them, understanding what their needs are, and heading down to Washington to try to get those needs met. So I think that's what sets me apart, frankly.
So I think that's a good start. And I understand you've just recently announced your candidacy?
We just announced last Monday. It was a great announcement, and it was really great timing because we've been working on it and planning it for a couple of months. Did not know that he was going to be indicted this week. the day after that, I got a major endorsement from my local Congressman Tom Kaine, which was really fantastic because that sent a very big message to people that he believed in me and he knew that I was very serious about doing this job. Within the next day or two, I was being called the front runner. I'm the mayor and I'm a mom, so I bring a vast experience into a position like this, and people know that they can count on me. They know how hard I work, just as hard as I'm working on this campaign and will continue to, but we're going to continue to just work hard and communicate with people. And I trust and I believe that people know that I have the best interest and they're going to support me. That's my faith. People will support me, and that's what we're starting to see. I'm getting calls from all over the country. I'm getting emails from people saying, what can we do for you? People want to see change. They're ready for it, and I'm ready to give it to them.
I think that's fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about your platform and how people can find out more. I know you're currently the mayor of Mendham, so that's one role that you're fulfilling. But where can people find out about your policy positions and how to kind of understand what kind of a senator you would be?
Well, the first place they can find me is obviously at my website. We're still adding to it because, again, we just launched last week, and it's been a very, very busy week because of his indictment. Everybody's looking for somebody to talk about it. But my website is Christine, with a CH, 4NJ.com. So people can go there first. As I said, we're adding more to it, so you'll see more about my platform and exactly what I believe in for the state of New Jersey in the next couple of weeks. But you can, you'll see all of the press. You'll see exactly what I believe in if you watch some of the clips, listen to some of the radio shows I've been on, and read some of the articles.
Fantastic. So I didn't have your campaign website, but I do now. So I'm on your campaign website, and you actually have it right here at the top. New Jersey deserves better. You have donate, get involved. You have a video on here that explains your candidacy, and you talk about why you're running. And you're not just running against corruption, right? But you're also running to fight for New Jersey residents and businesses. And this is a continuation of what you've done in the past. You mentioned being in politics. So could you talk to us a little bit about how being the mayor of Mendham is something that could translate into work in the U.S. Senate? Because I think that's an interesting juxtaposition.
Well, it definitely does. By my government background, I was an executive for probably the largest and most powerful economic development agency for the state of New York. And then I was the regional advocate for the SBA, trying to help small businesses with overregulation, trying to prevent overregulation. Mm-hmm. From there, we moved to Mendham. That was my hometown. And I instantly knew the mayor, and he said, would you ever think about running for mayor? And I said to him, hold on a minute. Let me get involved first. Let me sit on a committee. Well, that's all that it took for me. And I just got more and more involved. I ran for council. And then I said, yeah, okay, I will run for mayor. This is my hometown. I love this town. It's a town that families move here because the schools are so great. And it was important to me. I remembered being a child. I remembered, our Labor Day parade. We'd have Labor Day races they would put on for the kids, all sorts of things. And when I was young, it never dawned on me. These people that were running the things, these were people like me today. These were parents. Some of these people had grown up here. And so people return and they put this time in so that children can have this wonderful place. That's what I want for all of New Jersey. I want, whether it's Newark or Camden or down in Cape May, I want that feeling for all of New Jersey where people feel like New Jersey is not an embarrassment. I mean, right now, the whole country is suffering economically. It really is. And New Jersey is not exempt from that. New Jersey is one of the two highest tax states in the country and has been for 20 years. It's also one of the most expensive places to live. So stopping this overspending down in Washington is going to help folks in New Jersey. But it's also going to help towns be able to put the work into their town to make every town a wonderful place where people want to come to visit. So that's what I've done for men, and that's what I continue to do. It's a direct correlation to the Senate because it's the same kind of hard work. It's actually, they'll tell you, the hardest job is being a mayor because you don't have all the support, and you basically are running, with a multi-million-dollar budget. It's like a small company, except you can't make a profit. The money is only coming from your taxpayers, so you have to be extremely cautious as to how you spend the money. When you're a senator, you don't have that degree of responsibility, right? You're more so dealing with policies, but you're not responsible for a whole town. So any elected official will tell you that. It's really one of the toughest jobs.
It is. I would agree with you. It's also where you have a higher level of accountability because, as a mayor, you're constantly running into the people you're responsible for. At the grocery store, everywhere you go in the town, everyone that you encounter is somehow related to your decision-making process. With senators, because there are two from every state, and they can spend a significant amount of time in D.C., they can really kind of insulate themselves from that. And they have a lot of staff, right? They have a lot of people to kind of stand between them and maybe an angry, voter. So it is a tough job.
They absolutely do. I mean, most people here in town have my cell number, and if they have a problem, they text me. If you're a senator, I don't think you're getting people right in touch with you. And I respond to all of those texts. I respond to all of my emails. I try to get back to people within at least 24 hours. If I'm super busy, it's 48, but I take care of that myself. I don't have a staff person responding back to people because they want to hear from you. And to me, that's what's important. That's what's missing. That direct communication. And I think that DC can do a much, much better job with communicating what they're doing. All of the laws and policies that are passed, it's all become very complicated. And I think that they've forgotten about the people. I think that they've become, it's sort of like the IRS. You can't even file your own taxes anymore because it's so complicated. Even simple taxes people can't file because the rules are so complicated. Which form do you even use? All of it can be simplified, right? It's a little bit of rolling back, like I said with Mendham, trying to keep it simple, trying to keep a nice Main Street, trying to keep our historic buildings intact. We do the best we can, right? And people appreciate that. That's why they continue to move to a town like Mendham.
Yeah, and it's also good experience for bringing some accountability back to the Senate body. I think one of the things about the U.S. Senate that it's such it's a historic place. It's kind of got a little bit of pomp and circumstance to it. It's the upper chamber, but we've allowed that kind of language to kind of make the people who work there feel like they're above the rest of Americans. And so, having a mayor go in there and kind of tell everybody, hey, wait a minute, this place is historic. And yeah, we're all U.S. senators, but we have people back in our states who are waiting on us to make good on promises that there's a lot of promises that goes on during the campaign trail, and not a lot of it gets answered once they get there. And I just wish we could see more people with a strong constitution and a willingness to be held accountable and to answer to voters to go in there. So it sounds like that's your platform is just actually being accessible and actually caring about the people who are sending you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about your candidacy or anything that you'd like to promote while you're here? It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show and to learn about why you're running.
Oh, thank you, Stacy. Yeah, I think that the important thing is we've all become, and you just said this, we've all become so used to, folks that are multimillionaires running for these offices, right? People that are so far removed. I said this about Bob Menendez before. He's been in government 50 years. He's been in Congress 30 years. He doesn't know what's going on with the people here in New Jersey. He's not in touch with them. People are afraid to run for these offices because, one, they're too expensive. It's so much money you have to raise. And you don't have a choice. It's the only system that operates how campaigns are. And two, because they get horribly beaten up. And it takes a very strong and courageous person to stand up and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this on because this state matters to me and the people here matter to me. And changing this system matters to me. I mean, I didn't have to run now. If my girls have just gone off to college, I could have said, hey, you know what? Now it's time for me to relax. And I said, I've been waiting for this for a few years now, waiting for my girls to safely be, moving on in their lives. They're in college and they don't need me as much. And I said, now is my time. Now is my time to put my money where my mouth is, right? And get in there and see what I can do to make a difference and improve things for people. And so that really is my platform, is improving things for people, trying to limit the spending in D.C., trying to bring integrity back. I mean, you talk about the beautiful Senate building. Well, now it's not so beautiful with, Fetterman who gets to walk around in his shorts and his sneakers. I mean, I think, we all think it's just ridiculous that rules would be changed for one member. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't understand, frankly, why the guy can't put on a pair of long pants and a shirt. Doesn't take that much.
Just a polo shirt and some slacks. We're talking about stuff you can buy at Sam's Club.
Right?
A pair of $15 pants, right? It's just
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. He doesn't have to wear a suit necessarily if that's not working for him. But this is just silliness. There are places that ban people from wearing hoodies, right? Because you can cover yourself, and yet they just passed this new rule there. But my point is this. Integrity, we need to bring integrity back. We need to improve communications with, the folks that are hiring us basically through their tax dollars so that they understand what's going on. We need to put an effort into longer-term planning. This administration does a lot of passing of policy, right, without really thinking of the people. It should be people before policy. And they should be thinking down the road, how is this going to impact them? And they're just not. It's painfully obvious that they're not. And then making decisions based on, what people are going to need in the future. I think all of these things are possible, like the energy policies that we have. It should really be all of the above. That was one of the first things that the Biden administration did when they came in, was they stopped the oil pipeline, right? And so what they did was they exchanged an oil pipeline for a fentanyl pipeline. Those kind of not planning as to what the repercussions are going to be have become so obvious in such a short period of time. That's what we need to stop, and that's my goal. That's what I'm going to do, is get in there and just make a whole lot of noise and insist that changes be made.
Well, we really appreciate that.
I hope people will come to my website. I hope they will support me, and at least give me some consideration, because I'm ready to go, and now I need a big team behind me, a team of voters and people from New Jersey that also want to see change.
Well, I keep saying all over the country, Christine, that even though I have two great senators here in the state of Missouri, and they're young, they're very strong, they're very passionate, Schmidt and Hawley. But in the U.S. Senate right now, because of the makeup, because the chamber is controlled by Democrats, every single Republican senator is really, they're my senator. And so if you're running in New Jersey and you take that seat from Bob Menendez, who, it's very likely that he'll be seeing jail time, then that means you'll be representing the people of the great show me state of Missouri when you take your votes, because we need you to replace Menendez. We need a good conservative, a good strong conservative to replace Romney, who's not running, and he's been very, very shallow and very, very much a rhino. All of these seats have to be populated by people with good common sense, who have a history and a background rooted in their communities instead of enriching themselves. So we wish you the best. Certainly hope to talk to you again as the campaign continues to develop. Best of luck on the trail. God's blessings be upon you. And thank you so much, Christine, for coming on to the show. The website is christinefornj.com. christinefornj.com. Thank you.